As of the most recent publicly available intelligence, up to mid-2024, the Sinaloa Cartel remains one of the most powerful and influential drug trafficking organizations in the world. Despite increased pressure from both Mexican authorities and U.S. agencies, including the CIA, and Department of Homeland Security. Here's a detailed breakdown of the current condition of the Sinaloa Cartel and U.S., including CIA. Efforts to dismantle it. 1. Leadership structure. After the capture of Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, leadership fragmented. Currently, it is led by different factions: Los Chapitos, El Chapo's sons, notably Ivan Archivaldo, Jesus Alfredo, and Ovidio Guzman. Though Ovidio was captured in 2023, Ismael El Mayo Zambada, a senior figure maintaining influence. Though less visible, these factions compete and cooperate, maintaining vast trafficking operations from fentanyl, methamphetamine, and cocaine. 2. Operations and reach operates across Mexico. The US, Europe, Asia, and Australia controls major routes along the Pacific coast, northern border states, and central transit corridors, uses advanced logistics, bribery, and violence to maintain power. 3. CIA and US involvement. While the CIA typically doesn't lead drug interdiction operations, it supports intelligence gathering on high-level cartel figures, coordination with Mexican military and elite law enforcement, surveillance operations, including signals intelligence, SIGINT, and drones, assistance to deal-led missions or joint task forces. Key goals for the CIA and allies: disrupt financial networks, money laundering, crypto tracking, isolate leadership from political and business allies, undermine the cartel's logistics via international cooperation. 4. Pressure and decline. The cartel faces rivalry from the Jalisco New Generation, Cartel CJNG, increased U.S. sanctions and designation of fentanyl trafficking as a national security threat, growing political pressure in Mexico to take real action, partly driven by U.S. diplomatic pressure. Still, Sinaloa remains resilient due to deep corruption networks and a decentralized multi-generational structure. Aggressive expansion into synthetic drug markets, especially fentanyl. Run violent enforcer groups like Los Niños. After Ovidio Guzman's 2023 capture via Operation Black Swan II, the faction is trying to consolidate power and maintain roots. El Mayo Zambada's faction, more traditional and politically connected, prefers low-profile operations, may be less engaged in fentanyl trafficking, causing friction with the U.S. preference for cracking down on synthetics. Fractures. Tensions between the factions are rising. Some local plaza bosses, territorial leaders, are switching allegiance to CJNG or going independent. These splits create opportunities for external disruptions, something U.S. agencies exploit. 6. International cooperation. The CIA and D are not working alone. Key partnerships include Mexico. Elite units of CMAR, Mexican Navy, now take a larger role due to corruption concerns in local police. CIA and D pass actionable intel to trusted Mexican units only. Post-Ovidio raid. There has been more U.S. military-style assistance behind the scenes. Global allies. Interpol tracks cartel-linked fugitives. Colombia, Ecuador, and Guatemala are involved in intercepting supply chains. European intelligence is sharing data due to Sinaloa's increasing shipments to Spain, Italy, and the Netherlands. 7. CIA-specific tactics and strategic goals. Though not a law enforcement agency, the CIA supports the fight via covert methods, signals, and cyber intelligence. Tracking cartel comes via encrypted devices, for example, Sky ECC, ANOM, now defunct, financial surveillance. Watching crypto wallets, shell companies in Panama, Dubai, Hong Kong. Asset placement and human intelligence, HUMINT, CIA and D cultivate insiders turned cartel members or bribed lieutenants. Intelligence has led to targeted strikes, including drone support in isolated locations. Strategic goal. The CIA's long-term aim is to fracture the cartel and neutralize its capacity to operate across borders, especially in fentanyl export. They want to decapitate leadership, sow distrust within factions, and influence regional politics to turn the tide against organized crime. 8. Challenges in taking down Sinaloa corruption. Deep penetration of cartel influence in Mexican politics. police, and even military. Public sympathy. Some areas see cartel leaders as Robin Hood figures due to their economic influence. Decentralization, like a hydra, removing one head doesn't collapse the whole organization. Political shifts. Administration under AMLO has been hesitant to take an aggressive approach, preferring the abrazos, no balazos hugs, not bullets, policy. Point 9. Future outlook. If CJNG continues to clash with Sinaloa in key states Sonora, Michoacán, Zacatecas, this could escalate into a proxy war. The 2024 U.S. elections and pressure from Congress could force even more aggressive covert and overt action. The CIA's role is likely to expand quietly, especially in disrupting money laundering, backing cyber offensives, coordinate elite interdiction missions via D and Ali's OPA-EON, Nightfire CIA fictionalized action plan objective. Cripple the Los Chapitos faction of the Sinaloa Cartel by taking out its fentanyl production network, disrupting leadership communications, and flipping key lieutenants. Phase 1. Infiltration and surveillance. CIA Signals Division deploys a cyber team to penetrate encrypted, comes mostly over proton mail signal and dark web forums. A deep cover agent, using the alias Carlos Varela, poses as a Venezuelan logistics expert. Gains employment with a cartel-linked chemical importer in Culiacan, using drone surveillance from U.S. territory and local assets. In Sinaloa, they track precursor shipments from China and India. Discover a major fentanyl superlab, camouflaged inside a shrimp processing facility. Phase 2. Target. Development. QMINT sources confirm. Jess S. Alfredo Guzman will attend a secret meeting near Navolato, involving key Chinese chemical brokers and Colombian financiers. CIA. Special Activity Center, SAC, greenlights a non-attributable asset disruption, meaning no boots on ground, use of contractors, and allied forces, Mexican Marines. Under tight intel control. Phase 3. Decapitation strike. Covert. Air assets launch a drone strike on the meeting convoy. Target. A modified suburban armored SUV known to carry Guzman. Result? One vehicle destroyed, but Guzman narrowly escapes, injured but alive simultaneously. CIA-supported Mexican Marines raid the shrimp facility, seizing 1.2 metric tons of fentanyl precursors and arresting 4 chemists from Wuhan. Phase 4. Psychological warfare and internal collapse. CIA hacks into cartel channels and leaks false messages suggesting El Mayo Zambada cooperated with U.S. authorities. The goal: spark internal suspicion and factional infighting. A cartel lieutenant, fearing betrayal, defects and gives up safe house locations and money laundering routes through Panama and Dubai. Phase 5. International sanctions and financial disruption using CIA intelligence. The U.S. Treasury Department's OFAC, Office of Foreign Assets Control, sanctions 6 front companies, including a shipping firm in Manzanillo and a real estate firm in Guadalajara. Crypto, while it's tied to cartel profits, are seized via coordination with Binance and Chainalysis. Power in northern Sinaloa temporarily destabilized. Los Chapitos faction weakened, but not destroyed. El Mayo's group regains influence, but CIA continues to monitor splits. U.S. pressure on MLO's successor increases, leading to expanded joint strike forces in 2025.10. Strategic implications of sustained pressure. Destabilization versus fragmentation. Taking down a cartel like Sinaloa doesn't destroy drug trafficking, it fragments. Its splinter groups become more violent. Less organized, control over regions becomes chaotic. Power vacuums invite local militias, rogue cells, or CJNG expansion. The CIA's strategy may not be to destroy the Sinaloa cartel in one blow, but to fracture its command, choke finances, and reduce global logistics capability. **B. Regional impact in Mexico. Violence spikes as power structures collapse. For example, what happened in Ciudad Juarez in the late 2000s, civilian populations suffer unless Mexican federal forces can quickly stabilize affected regions. The U.S. may push for expanded initiative-style security, cartel recruitment. U.S. domestic policy shifts. Fentanyl crisis drives bipartisan political urgency. If Sinaloa's fentanyl pipeline is disrupted, short-term, supply dips, followed by alternative sourcing via India or rogue CJNG. LABSUS may declare transnational cartels as terrorist organizations, unlocking expanded CIA Navy SEAL missions. D. Intelligence evolution. The CIA is moving from traditional human into AI-assisted pattern recognition of trafficking routes. Blockchain, tracing of laundering chains, use of social media surveillance to intercept cartel recruitment and propaganda. PSYOPs campaigns are already being tested in Latin America, local influencers, and news manipulation to sway cartel zones away from criminal allegiance. **11, the final battlefield. Cyber and finance in the near future. The real battleground may be less about raids and more about cryptocurrency tracing. Following cartel coin mixing services, often based in Asia or Europe, shell company takedowns targeting fake firms across Panama, Cyprus, and UAE. Data warfare, releasing leaked documents to disrupt trust inside the cartel. Deepfakes, mole rumors, manipulated audio. The CIA is already coordinating with NSA and FinCEN to lead these efforts. 12. What finishing Sinaloa really looks like realistically. Finishing the Sinaloa Cartel doesn't mean total annihilation. It means leadership neutralized, killed, flipped, or arrested.